It's one more proof. Feel the heat, feel it, move your body. All the way from May. Every day, thinking laugh, ideas flow. Ooh, together we shine, watch us glow. Yeah, yeah. Magic makes us fly, reaching higher, touch the sky. Every day, step by step, the end of the day. Oh yeah, the bird leads. It's feeling great. Hey, power, let it ignite. Work it, dance it through.
I would request everyone, please wait for 5 minutes more for more people to join. I would request everyone, please wait for 5 minutes more for more participants to join.
You came to me like morning light. In your smile, the stars took flight. The world is loud, the world is wild, but in my arms you're just my child. I teach you love, I hold your fears, I count your dreams, I wipe your tears. You're growing wings, but take your time. I'll walk with you, your hand in mine. तू मेरा नूर है, तू मेरा प्यार है, इस दुनिया में बस तू ही यार है. हर मोड़ पे, हर सांस में मैं हूँ तेरे साथ, जीवन के राग में. ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯ ಬೆರೆದಂತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಕು, ಸಂತೋಷದ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಗೀತೆ. ಈ ಲೋಕ ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ, ಸುರಕ್ಷಾ ಇಲ್ಲವೆಂದು ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೂ ನಿನ್ನ ಕೈಯನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನ ಒಲವಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲುತ್ತೆ. When I hear your name, it's carved in my heart. You're the light in my eyes, a joyful song start. This world may say it's not safe today, but I won't let go. I love you all the way.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 7 of the AI Summit. My name is Aditi, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. It's wonderful to have you all back with us for another engaging and insightful session. So, before we begin, I would like to take a moment to wish everyone a very happy International Women's Day. For those joining us for the first time, our speaker, Mr. Willibrod George, is an innovative school leader who builds tech-enabled, student-driven system in affordable schools near Mumbai and is widely recognized for his contribution to educational innovation. A quick reminder for our session norms. Please keep your microphones muted during the session. Share your question in the chat box. Stay with us till the end of the session. So today's theme is voice and storytelling, voiceovers and podcast for teachers. In this session, we will explore how AI tools can help teachers create voiceovers, narrations, and simple podcasts. To make lesson more engaging and interactive for students, storytelling has always been a powerful teaching method. And with AI, educators can create audio content quickly and easily. So, sir, this stage is yours and over to you.
All right, checking on sound if you're able to hear me, and I think you can. All my meters
Yes, sir.
very well. All right, perfect. So, a very, very, very happy Women's Day to all of you, right? So, we had a fantastic event yesterday for Women's Day, and we used so much of AI in that event. And slowly and steadily, I think all of you teachers, you all have so much responsibility other than just teaching when you're working in your schools. Schools today are like event management companies. And so there are so many things that you need to do. And I think you know, over the course of these 10 days, you are learning so many skills, and these skills are making you more empowered to get so many things done where your dependency on other people, especially you know, team members who know more technological stuff, I think that's going to become less, and you start feeling like you have more power and you're able to do things. But having said that, a very happy Women's Day to you, and let's do two or three things today. One, I recognize that you guys may have coffee dates and this and that and all that, so we'll probably leave you guys early today. And also, every example that we take today in our class today, we will keep it around Women's Day. All right, so at least that way we can honor the sanctity of the day that we have today. So I'm going to quickly jump in and give you an idea about what are we doing today. Most of everything that we're going to do today is to help you build some content using audio tools. Okay, and these audio tools that I'm talking about are also going to be AI audio tools. So why audio? Audio is incredibly powerful. A lot of people today are listening to podcasts, right? And podcasts are becoming slowly one of the most preferred medium of gaining knowledge. Now, what I mean by that, earlier the content on the internet was long. Okay, it's called long form content, and then slowly the content started becoming shorter and shorter, and then we have these YouTube shorts and you've reels, and you've got things like that. And then came the era of podcasts, where podcasting started becoming huge. And podcasts initially were only audio and short, and then podcasts started becoming long. So you have 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 4 hours. You have these long form content. And people then started consuming these podcasts over days, weeks, and months, because people like to build knowledge. How much can you learn in 90 seconds, right? So you really have to engage with the content over long periods of time, with cycles of reflection and critical thinking, to be able to understand and deeply internalize content that you see. So, one, as a teacher, we have less resources. What I mean by resources is microphones, uh, editing tools, a room that is quiet, right? A room that is designed to be able to capture audio. All these things are expensive, and all these things are require a certain amount of technical know-how, and that's
Um, Sorry to disturb you, sir, but your voice is very low. We can't hear it properly.
okay.
Yeah.
I just need to know if you're able to hear. Does it get better when I go closer to the mic?
Yeah, it's better.
Now it's better.
When I go closer to the mic, it gets better.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let me just see if I can. Does this make more sense? Is it like better?
Yes, sir, it's better now.
Okay. I just want to make sure that, yeah, Zoom does a lot of noise cancellation, and it thinks whatever I'm saying is noise. Okay. So is this better for you guys?
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm just increasing all my levels here. All right. So thank you for that feedback. Now, um, as I was saying, all this technology is kind of difficult for teachers to be able to own, and also to be able to integrate and use and things like that, right? So a lot of these assets were not even created by teachers, because they can't even think of doing something like these. With AI, what's actually happening is you are in a position to be able to create all this content at prices which are absolute, maybe like 1/10 of what it otherwise cost. So today we're going to be thinking about how we can create podcasts, how we can create audio content for our children, because audio content has a very powerful place to play when it comes to learning. Okay, so let's go to ChatGPT right now. And as I said, today we'll try and use as many examples as possible for Women's Day. So, what we're going to be doing is, I want to be able to create, let's say, a podcast for women. Okay, for something that women would like to listen to or whatever. So this is what I'm going to do. You are an expert, and in every literally in every session, we are also kind of reviewing the way we were prompting and stuff like that. So you are an expert in podcasting. You are an expert in understanding problems of married women in India. You are an expert in understanding the aspirations and needs of women who, who took a break from work to have a baby, and then now have a gap of 6 years before getting back into the workforce. You understand the psychological needs and also are an expert at addressing them. I want you to think about 5 topics that that I can use to make a podcast for such for these women. Okay. Now, I want the central theme of the podcast and the 5 chapters. Okay. What could it be? Ask me any questions about it before you start working on it. All right. So here's our prompt, and let's see what it actually comes up with. It's like, I can shape this well, but the heart of it depends on who exactly you want to sit across the mic from you. Okay. So before I build the central team and 5 chapters, tell me, are these women mostly from Metro? So I'm saying, yeah, Metro. Do you want the podcast to feel more healing, practical, career guidance, or confidence building? I'm like, confidence building. All right. Next, are these women mostly mothers of young kids? Very young kids, say 5 years old. Okay. Do you want the tone to be warm and conversational, bold and awakening, or mentor like or strategic? Bold and awakening. And it's asking me, what is the end goal of the podcast? To help them return to work, to help them rediscover identity, to help them start something of their own. Yes. All right. Start something of their own. Okay. And I want this podcast to be just my voice, just my thoughts. Yeah, it's not a 2-person conversation. All right. So now I've given it more clarity, and I said this is not a 2-person conversation. This is just my thoughts that I'm making a podcast. Okay. So it's saying you're not making a podcast that merely comforts women. You're making a podcast that wakes them. The listener in a metro city, the listener is a metro city Indian mother with a young child around 5 who stepped away from work, carries a 6-year gap, and now stands at a crossroad. Part of her wants to come alive again, but another part is rusty, doubtful, guilty, and afraid of being too late. So the podcast should not sound like an interview. It should sound like a mirror, a lamp, and a push. Central idea of the podcast: she did not disappear. Wow, that's a cool thing. A bold audio journey of women who paused for motherhood and now ready to build something of their own. The 5 chapters. Where did I go? So the core idea is this: many women do not just lose a job break, they lose rhythm, recognition, and identity. Okay, so this is the opening chapter. Not in a sad way, but in a truthful way. And these are the talking points: how motherhood slowly becomes full-time emotional labor, how a woman begins to be known only through her roles like mummy, wife, daughter-in-law, and things like that. How confidence does not vanish in a day, it leaks slowly. Oh my God, it leaks slowly. Think about it. Why feeling lost does not mean she is weak. It means she has been carrying too much. Okay, so beautiful. I love these. The way it's come out. Obviously, you got to read every detail and you got to think about it because this is your podcast. Now, this is what I'm going to do next. Now, give me an intro for the podcast central theme. Uh, give it to me in about 15 powerful, conversational, inviting sentences. Give me the exact script that I can read off. Also, a peek into the chapters coming up. All right. So I've now asked it to give me an intro for the podcast, a central theme, and I've asked it to give it to me in 15 sentences. And I have, let me see, 15 sentences. It's all come and we got it, right? Beautiful. Okay. And it's also telling the audience what kind of podcasts are going to come. Okay. So I'm going to copy this. Obviously, I'm going to read it and things like that, but I'm now going to copy it and I'm going to a software called 11 Labs. All right. And what 11 Labs actually does is 11 Labs is a voice AI. It basically takes text and converts it to voice. It can also take voice and convert it to text. It can also take voice and convert it to another voice. There's so many other things that it can do. All right. So let's just take instant speech or text to speech. Okay. Why text to speech? Because, hey, I got text here. All I now need is voice, because once I get the voice, I will be able to then upload this podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you want, right? Google Podcast, anywhere you want, you can go and and post it. All right. So I'm now here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste everything that I got from ChatGPT. Okay, and literally I can now go and select voices. Okay, I can now go and select voices, and these are all the different types of voices that are currently available. So Monica Sogam is an English voice. If I click that, you should be able to hear the voice.
AI voice you can find here. Let's make some magic, shall we?
Okay, this is Neeraj, who's a Hindi voice.
मेरी बस इतनी सी बात समझ जाओ कि जिस दिन तेरे अंदर की आग बाहर दिखने लगेगी उस दिन दुनिया खुद झुकेगी.
So, do you want this voice to be? Do you want this podcast to be in?
बचपन में ना जब भी बारिश होती थी मैं खिड़की के पास बैठकर कहानियां सुना करता था. आज भी वही खुशबू, वही एहसास दिल को छू जाता है.
Okay, so first of all, I want to understand. Have you been able to hear that voice? Did the sound come through clearly for you, Raju's voice? Have you been able to hear that? Very light. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so let me just bring the mic, bring it nearby.
You've waited long enough. Now it's time to experience performance like never before.
Okay, and this is Raju's voice. Let's pick up Raju's voice. Hindi, Raju, relatable Hindi voice.
इस आवाज़ का उपयोग करें क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारी मॉड्यूलेशंस हैं, इसलिए ये सभी प्रकार की कंटेंट में काम आ सकती है.
All right. So I'm going to select I'm selecting Raju's voice right now, and I'm saying generate speech. That's literally what I'm saying.
even if life asked her to pause. This is for the woman who stepped away from work to raise a child and somewhere along the way began to wonder where she herself had gone. This is for the woman who has spent years showing up for everyone else and is now quietly asking, what about me? Maybe your child is 5 now. Maybe your career has a 6-year gap. Maybe your confidence feels shaky.
Okay, so what you can see right now is from ChatGPT, I brought my content and literally I'm downloading that off the internet right now. So I can make it faster, slower. I can make it more, the stability is variability, similarity, style exaggeration, language override, speaker boost, all kinds of options are available which we can play around with. But what you can see right now is in the chat, I am bringing in our this uh, this document. Okay, so I'm going to send it to you now. Podcast introduction. All right, I'm sending you the file in our chat, in our WhatsApp chat group. Okay, and I've put it there. There you go. That's your first file, and it's literally in your um, in your WhatsApp right now. What you can also see next is I'm now going back to ChatGPT and I'm saying, give me the first chapter and make it about 2 minutes long. Okay? So now it's giving me the first chapter. And I'm going to get it exactly the way I want. And I'll put it back into 11 Labs. And let's see what happens. So chapter 1, where did I go? There is a question many women do not say out loud. Not because they do not feel it, but because they do not know how to explain it. The question is, where did I go? Not where did my time go, not where did my career go, but where did I go? Okay, because somewhere between pregnancy, feeding schedules, and crying, and school admissions, and cooking, and cleaning, and managing the house, and remembering everyone's needs, and carrying the emotional temperature of the whole family, something shifts. Okay, so this is my 2-minute script. I copy it, bring it back into 11 Labs, and I'm just going to remove the bottom and the top. And now I'm just going to make it slightly more style exaggerated, slightly more. Yeah, it could be like it could get weird, but I'm just doing it, and I'm going to make it slightly faster, slightly, and I'm going to just hit generate speech just for you to be able to see the difference that has got created.
Where did I go? There is a question many women do not say out loud, not because they do not feel it, but because they do not know how to explain it. The question is this: where did I go? Not where did my time go, not where did my career go, but where did I go? Because somewhere between pregnancy, feeding schedules, crying, school admissions, cooking, cleaning.
All right, so that's my chapter 1. Okay, so I'm going to download it. I'm bringing it back to my document and I'm renaming it to podcast underscore chapter 1, right? And I'm now going to send this thing to our group so that you can also see it coming. Okay, let me see if that's there, and you should be able to see it in your, you should be able to see it somewhere. Let me know if you've got it in the WhatsApp group. There you go. So I've now sent it to you, and imagine you just have created all this without having to literally go to the editing studio or go to a recording studio. You're able to use your LLM for research, and then you are able to use this software, for for creating the text. Now, there are a couple of cool things here. Some people may say, is there a way to use my own voice? Yeah, you could actually just record that script using a mobile phone. Okay, you can just use a mobile phone and record it, even if it's in a noisy environment. And you could go to this software called Adobe Podcast, and for free you can press this button called enhance. I'm just going to put the link in the Zoom room here. And what this basically does is it takes your voice recorded, your whatever voice you recorded from your phone, dog barking in the background, phone, noise of the fan, all these things, and it will take out everything, enhance and boost your sound to make it sound as if you've taken this recording in a professional recording studio. Okay, which now means that your phone can also work like a professional microphone, even if you're not in a very quiet space or a place suited for recording. Okay, so I don't want to show you this right now, but it's damn simple. Just take a recording from your phone, upload it here, press the enhance button, and you have a sound that you converted into high quality, and then you can just download it and upload it to Spotify or whatever. So you actually got that. That is 100% your voice, 100% your voice, just removing all the background noise and all the distractions. However, if you don't have the time, while the first couple of days you might have the time to record, and you may have the time to clean it and upload it to Adobe Enhance and enhance the recording and things like that, because of the free software from Adobe, you actually save a lot of money rather than going to a recording studio or buying a fancy microphone. What 11 Labs can also do is it allows you to clone your voice. So, for example, I can go to create voice and I can say instantly clone my voice, or I can say professional voice clone. Okay, but I need to give a 5-minute voice sample. I don't want to get into that. I'll just do a 2-minute voice sample. Okay. And so if you do a professional voice clone, it requires 30 minutes of clean audio. So 30 minutes of talking I need to do, and then it will take my voice and then it will clone it. But a not so professional voice clone is a 2-minute thing. So I'm going to click the 2-minute thing, and now it's going to say, can you please record something? So I'm going to record something for 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to hit record. Okay, record. Enable microphone. Allow this time. I'm going to hit check. Hi, my name is Willie Broad, and I'm so glad that today is Women's Day, because women are perhaps the most powerful people on. Wait. All right, my recording is. I'm going to stop this for a second because it looks like it's going to do a 30-minute recording. I need to delete this and let me try again. It needs a minimum 10 seconds. We're going to try. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and let's see. She disappears in tiny pieces, a little when her sleep is no longer her own, a little when her body needs longer, feels like her own, a little when every introduction becomes someone's mother, someone's wife, or someone's daughter-in-law. A little when her day is full, but nothing in it seems to belong to her. And the strangest part is this. Okay, so it has picked up a recording, and I'm going to hit next. So what we are trying to do right now is we are trying to clone my voice. Willie voice test 1. Okay, language is English, and I'm going to save this voice. Now what I've actually done is I'm using this software, and giving the software like 10 or 20 seconds of my voice and then saying, based on this voice, can you please clone this voice and keep it so that if you see this Willy voice test 1. Let's see what it sounds like.
Life is like a garden that flourishes through seasons.
Okay, so that is the voice. Now, if I go and I say, give me chapter 2, okay, and make it for 1 minute only. All right. What's going to happen now is that it's giving me the chapter 2 of our podcast. It's giving me in 1 minute. Now, obviously, the topic we've taken today is Women's Day, but you can take any topic. You can do evaporation or climate change or whatever you want for your kids to learn, right? So, I'm now going to put it here. I'm taking this out and I am now putting it here, okay? And I'm now going to select this voice, Willy voice, and I'm going to hit generate speech, okay? So this now allows us
The lie of too late.
One of the biggest lies a woman tells herself after a long break is this: it is too late for me now. Too late to begin, too late to learn, too late to earn, too late to matter in the world again. But let us look at that lie for what it is: a lie. Because the gap
Is not the problem. The story you attach to the gap is the.
You got it? Now, literally, what's happening here is that we used 10 seconds of my voice, and based on that 10 seconds of my voice, we now have cloned my voice here, which now means if I'm waiting in the dentist for 20 minutes for my dentist to call me, I can go to ChatGPT, do some research, study it thoroughly, copy paste and bring it into 11 labs and select my voice, get a podcast out and push it to Spotify or push it to YouTube or push it to anywhere else or put the voice in a presentation. I showed you how to use Gamma and make presentation. Imagine if you have a presentation of this and then if you put the sound as a background play to this, you now have an audio book, with both visuals as well as sound. Okay, so this is the power that you have just by doing some of these things. Now, 11 Labs does a lot of other things, right? So once you've made this whole thing, 11 Labs will say, do you want to put a talking head onto it? And it'll convert it into a video and stuff like that. So somewhere in session 8 or 9, I think I'm going to be teaching how to use AI videos and create AI avatars. But this is something that really, really helps you. Now, I'm going to go to ChatGPT again, and I'm going to say, now give me the whole text of the intro, okay, and all the chapters. All right, so now I'm putting everything in and I'm asking ChatGPT to give me the entire podcast chapters. That's chapter 1, the introduction, beautiful intro, and then I'm asking it for chapter 1, and then I'm asking it for chapter 2, okay, then I'm asking it for chapter 3, and then I got chapter 4, and then I'm getting chapter 5. All right, here's my 5th chapter. Now that I have these chapters going, look, you can upload your entire NCRT textbook and make an audio book of the whole textbook and cut it up into little chapters and send it to your kids and say, listen to this, right? So many things can be possible. Now I copy this and I bring it into a software called Notebook LM. Okay, and inside Notebook LM, I create new and I call it Women's day podcast. Okay. And I add sources, and inside my sources, I can go to copy text and I can paste everything that I brought in from Notebook LM. All right. So whatever we copied, whatever we brought from ChatGPT, whatever we got, the introduction and the 5 chapters, I just copied it and brought it into this. So I went to Notebook LM, opened a notebook, and went to sources and added that text as a source. And then if I want a 2-person podcast, like a 2-person podcast, I can go to this thing called audio overview. You can see that here, audio overview, right? And in audio overview, I can go and click the pen sign to edit my this thing. I can say, do you want to make short, default, or long? I'm saying, okay, short, just for time being. Okay. And then I can make it like, do you want it to be like a deep dive, a brief, a critique, or a debate? And I'm like, make it like a deep dive, which is a lively conversation between two hosts, and what language I want it to be in. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this in Hindi, man. I want to make a Hindi podcast. Okay. So I'm going to look for Hindi. If Hindi is there, great. If Hindi is not there, Hindi is not there. But Konkani is there, and Nepali is there, and Marathi is there, and Hindi is there. Okay. And now it's saying, what should the AI host focus on in this episode? Okay. And now I can say something like, there you go. Concentrate the overview on the sequence bridging the need for a new calling with the immediate steps for launching small ventures. All right. Make it conversational. Have it like a question and answer. Make it light and easy to hear and understand. Add lots of examples from India. Okay, and I'm going to hit generate. And hopefully what's going to happen now is it's going to, and we've asked it to make a short podcast, right? So we're not doing chapter 1 separately, chapter 2. So what did you see in 11 labs was me creating the content for each chapter and then getting different audio files out, and then using these audio files then to put it all together and have my podcast in Spotify, right? But what we're doing, and there we gave you 3 options. One, using another voice which is AI generated, or using your own voice and recording your voice using your phone, and then using Adobe Podcast Enhance software to enhance your own recording to make it sound like it was done in a professional studio. And the other option was cloning your own voice inside 11 labs and then using that voice every time you wanted to create a podcast. And that's why a lot of scams can happen. Like your husband can call you and say, "Mujhe paisa bhejo." And unless you and your husband have a safe word or a password, you could get easily scammed, because someone could record your husband's voice, put it into softwares like 11 Labs, and just get it to say anything, and you may feel like you're talking to your husband, right? So these things are actually dangerous, and it happens. And so with your own kids, you need to be able to also develop safe words and passwords and things like that, so that you can at least have some way of identifying if there is a voice scam happening with you, right? So those were 2 routes which I showed you. And this is the 3rd route, because some people asked, is there a way for us to create a podcast which has 2%? And for that, one of the hacks is using this software called Notebook LM, which then requires content or material in a different way. And the different way that the content and material that it requires is you give it the whole thing, and then I gave it a prompt saying do it in Hindi. So it's going to take this content which is in English, It's going to translate it and transliterate and try and understand what it means in Hindi. And then it's going to find two AI voices. And then it's going to make this particular podcast shorter because I've asked it for a short podcast. And then it's going to also make it like a question answer style. And I've also asked it to find examples from India. And so it's going to try and find examples from India, and they're going to try and make it like a conversational podcast. And sometimes this whole podcast might just be super amazing. And if that is the way it is, if it's effective, if it hits the brief, then you're able to download this presentation, this podcast, and just like upload it to YouTube, or you're able to upload it to Spotify or something, and then you have your podcast going, right? So if you look at what AI or generative AI is doing, is it's giving you so much power. And because you have so much power to execute ideas today, one of the biggest skills that we need to teach our children and we need to develop ourselves is something called as sorry, I'm just adding this notebook LM. Yeah, I'm just putting it in the chat for you so that you know what software we're using. Yeah, so we need to be able to develop the skill of design thinking. We need to develop the skill of ideas. भाई आपके पास आइडिया ही अगर नहीं है तो आप क्या करोगे, right? So you need ideas, you need solutions, you need to know what you can do, and most importantly, you need to have a will to do something. You need to have this idea that, you need to have this thirst and this purpose, so that your purpose can become a project, and then you can start using all these tools so that you can you can make progress on your project, right? So one of the most important things or capacities that we'll have to build in children today is going to be that capacity to be able to do something. कुछ तो मुझे करना है, वो that hunger, that thirst, or that deep desire to be able to do something. I want to do something. I want to contribute. I want to change the world. I want to create something. I want to make something. मेरा खुद का कुछ होना चाहिए. I want to construct something. I want to build something. These things are going to be very, very important competencies in children, because I personally feel that most of our kids are living in a society where they're getting everything they want. So there's really like no need for them to do anything. So some of you will relate to that idea, while others may not. So start thinking, what are the conversations we are having with our students inside our classroom? Start thinking, what are the opportunities that our children can take, and start thinking, what are the missed opportunities that you could have taken but you did not take because of want of time or want of resources, or or you had some technological know-how you needed. But today these tools allow you to really do wonders. Okay, so that is a little bit of just my view on what I think you should do, and then maybe in a few minutes we should be able to see this podcast, or we should be able to hear some podcast here based on all this. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you have any feedback, or if you have any responses to everything that you heard today from our session. So one of the questions that is being asked in the group is, how can we use Gamma and 11 Labs together? Yeah, I mean, Gamma creates the presentation or the PDF files, right? Or a social media post. Imagine you using Gamma to create a social media post about the Women's Day podcast, and instead of putting some random background music at the side for this social media post, you could now have like a 1-minute recording that I created using 11 Labs, and you can put that as a background music or a background score, and that might really make your content more clickable and more meaningful, right? So these are some things that you can think about. Shama is asking what's the best app for using to making a visiting card. I would say just use Canva. Canva is like a brilliant tool for teachers, and you can do so many things. All right, so it is now saying that there is a podcast made.
आज के
Let's
हमारे
listen
इस
to it.
गहन विश्लेषण का विषय बहुत ही खास है। हमारे पास आर्टिकल्स और रिसर्च का जो ढेर है वो एक बहुत ही आम लेकिन अनकहे मुद्दे पर बात करता है, खासकर बड़े शहरों की उन महिलाओं के बारे में जिन्होंने मदरहुड या मातृत्व के कारण अपने काम से एक लंबा ब्रेक लिया है। मैं अक्सर सोचती हूँ कि आज हमारी कोशिश यही है कि पुरानी जॉब में वापस लौटने के भारी दबाव को हटाकर घर से ही एक नई शुरुआत कैसे की जा सकती है इसे समझा जाए।
बिल्कुल, और ये चर्चा उन महिलाओं के लिए एक दिशा की तरह है जो सालों बाद अपनी पहचान फिर से खोजना चाहती हैं। इसमें सबसे दिलचस्प पहलू ये है कि ये किसी किताबी ज्ञान की बात नहीं कर रहा है।
हाँ, एकदम।
बल्कि जमीनी स्तर पर उठाए जाने वाले छोटे और बहुत ही व्यवहारिक कदमों पर फोकस करता है।
यह पहचान का खो जाना ही शायद वो बिंदु है जहां से पुराने सांचे टूटते हैं। मतलब दिन भर बच्चों के स्कूल प्रोजेक्ट्स, पीटीए मीटिंग्स, घर के अनगिनत काम और रिश्तों को संभालने के बाद जब कोई महिला सोचती है कि क्या वो फिर से 9 से 5 की उस पुरानी दिनचर्या में खुद को फिट कर पाएगी,
तो जवाब अक्सर ना होता है।
हाँ, वही। और हमारे नोट्स भी यही कहते हैं कि ये ना कोई कमजोरी नहीं है।
सही कहा आपने।
असल में मातृत्व के बाद दुनिया को देखने का नजरिया पूरी तरह बदल जाता है। रिसर्च साफ दिखाती है।
So guys, there you go, right? We used Notebook LM to create a podcast of a 2-person podcast of all the content we created in Hindi. You can go now make it in 25 different languages if you want, and suddenly you're like this creator and you can do so many things. So imagine all those things that you are interested in, everything that you wanted to share or do, or you wanted to speak about or create content about, you can at least start with a podcast. So I cannot wait to see what amazing stuff you're going to do with this newfound knowledge, how you're going to use it inside your classrooms to make it more fun for your kids. You could take your NCRT textbook, take the first chapter, convert that into a podcast, convert that into a story, you could convert that into poetry. And maybe on our last session, I'll also show you how you can convert that into a song. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for being such an incredible audience today. There's so much going on in the chat box, and for those of us who are joining us online on YouTube, Shweta Goyal is saying, we feel that we're really empowered after today's session. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me, and I know that you're going to do some amazing work. Once again, ladies, a very warm Women's Day, good wishes for Women's Day, and have a brilliant day, and have let every day be Women's Day, right? That's what it is. So thank you so much, and over to the team at SAR.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, sir, for this insightful session. Thank you all the participants for active participation. We hope today's discussion has inspired you to explore how voice, storytelling, and AI tools can make learning more engaging and meaningful for students. We look forward to seeing you in our upcoming session as we continue exploring how AI can support educators and transform learning experiences. Thank you once again. And yes, happy Women's Day once again to everyone. Thank you for being such a wonderful and enthusiastic audience. Have a great evening.